I'd love to get your sense of what is going on. What is your life like right now? Because the early signing period just happened, and you got a bowl game that your quarterback is going to play in, right? Matt Corral's playing in this Sugar Bowl game. He's going to do it?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. We've got no opt-outs, and they're all playing, so it's great.
Okay. And so have you been hitting the road recruiting and things like that? I wonder what is the life of a big-time college football coach like right around now in the world of early signing periods and NILs and transfer portals and things like that?
Yeah, it used to be you could, singularly focus really on the bowl game, but then the early signing period, we were out doing that. Then it went dead after that. But now you have this portal situation, I guess. And it would be really like, for those familiar with the NFL, like you have free agency. There's not like a time window on it, so anybody can go in whenever they want. And here's where it gets really tricky. Now with NIL and people saying, when you come here, you're going to get this much money, and they tell these kids all this stuff. So here's a free agent contract, but there's no contract, so you don't really know if you're going to get the money when these people say it. So you can figure out that's a pretty difficult situation.
And so do you have like I guess, somebody who keeps it all straight for you to say, like, this is what the transfer portal looks like, this is what our regular recruiting process looks like, and this is how much we have left for anybody who's in the transfer portal, and then you have to identify who might be interested in you in the transfer portal, and then you got to keep your eye on the NIL money? Is that make sense? Is that what this is all about right now?
Yeah, but it's a lot more complicated because you're kind of making it like the NFL, where here's your salary cap. There's not a cap, and nothing's on paper. Instead of like, hey, here's your, free agent contract. These schools some just say, okay, hey, you're going to get this here. And we've heard the stories that they say that, and then they don't get it. So now you see guys more in the portal a year later because they were promised these things and didn't get them. And again, free agency, who's going in the free agency market in the NFL or in sports. This one, you got no idea, and then every day, here's new ones. So we get off the field, and we get a report every day, oh, here's 4 new guys that went in today. So very strange.
And are these guys that you are familiar with because you had them on a radar screen beforehand, or how do you assess when those names come in, whether it works for Ole Miss football? Lane.
We just have to watch them. I mean, some you're familiar with, but you still got to watch what they've done since, And, I mean, then you have the strange. Imagine this, Rich. We actually have players that are on our roster that went into the portal, still playing for us, took official visits. We even have a player that signed somewhere else, is going somewhere else, but playing in this game and practicing for us. Think about that.
Okay, so there's a current.
You're the Ravens. Yeah. And your middle linebacker or whatever has already signed next year to play for the Steelers as you're still playing.
How do you coach somebody like that?
You'd be really nice, I guess. But really, that's really how you got to coach in general. You do the old school way all the time, which we really don't do that anyway, but the old school coaches do it that way. Like, you're just going to have to know you're going to have a lot of kids leaving. And I'm not talking about the ones that already signed, just in general.
Right.
So, again, you become free agents when your contract's up in professional sports. You can become a free agent whenever you want. So imagine drafting rookies, and in the first year, they're not liking how they're playing, your first-round pick, and then so they can just leave.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to determine whether you think this is good or not, because I'm serious, Lane Kiffin here on the Rich Eisen Show, because, we saw coaches leave. You have been in other places before, and you would have every right to take another job somewhere else if that is something that you feel is good for you, your family, or whatever it is. So shouldn't kids have the same ability, right?
100%. It should just be more thought out, to have windows so that when they're leaving, people can watch them, because it should have happened, and they should have this, just like coaches do, but there's no window, and also they're not advised very well. So you have thousands of kids going in the portals, but there's not thousands of spots for people to take. So they're all going in thinking, oh, I have all these spots. But there's going to be hundreds of kids sitting at home next year that gave up a scholarship thinking they were going to have spots because of this portal and how great it is, and then they're not.
So let's wave a wand. What would you do? Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss football head coach. What would you do if I made you now? Congratulations, you're now in charge. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't really want that. I just like complaining about the problem. I don't really have the answer.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm just wondering. Like what?
No, I mean, you got to put a window. Okay, they can only go in at these times, and then, and the NIL should be on a contract because some of these places, the day before signing day, are sitting here saying, oh, come here. You're going to get $50,000 when you get here. And the kid goes, okay, yeah, I sign. And then we hear the stories that they get there and they don't see anything. So there should be a way that, like a free agent contract, hey, you get to see the contract before you go there.
Right. And I know you said something similar to that after Dion made a huge coup in getting Hunter to go to Jackson State. Is that... Were you referring to Dion by saying that on the same day about players going places?
No, I actually wasn't. All people think I was. I wasn't. I was talking about some other schools we recruit against. Okay, I won't name them.
No, okay, I just wanted to give you the floor on that.
No, I was not even. I didn't even. It had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I'm just tired of the stories we hear where a school or two that I know very well says to the kid, "You will get this when you get here." And then the kids, the coaches, the parents they're in the portal a year later because they didn't get anything.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.